things less complicated, is that we are vetting, we're going to be setting up interviews real quick here. I thought I was going to be looking at applications in November. It's going to be sooner than that. That's the good news. Yeah, we had a deadline on June 30th. That's obviously come and gone. At least last time I checked. Okay, the loving stewards of the earth invite you to join us in a group prayer for Mother Earth today, right after the service. It's in the Gratitude Garden here by the parking lot entrance. Connect with Mother Earth, pray for the beings and the elements of nature, raise environmental consciousness. Let's give thanks for Gaia, bless her, and pray for our improving relationship with her. And that, like it says, it's going to be right after the service out here in the garden. This Friday, July 22nd, is the fourth Friday of the month, and that means it's time for the Diversity Circle. The meeting starts at 7 p.m. It is on Zoom. This month's Diversity Circle will consist of the open forum discussion. More information is on our website, Oakland CSL, that's all one word, oaklandcsl.org. Do you have a desire to touch the divine presence within you so that it can manifest and express more fully in your life? And I think we've got a slide for this. Join Reverend Catherine Sachs next Sunday. There she is. That's a great photo of her. Join Reverend Catherine Sachs next Sunday, July 24th at 1 p.m. for an afternoon of inspired and deep writing from the soul. Please register at oaklandcsl.org/events, and there is a $30, registration fee. For details of upcoming events, workshops, and classes, please go to the Thursday Village News or the oaklandcsl.org website. Also, the welcome table in the courtyard and the rotating slideshow before and after the service has all the announcements I just read. Okay, now we have our, we're going to have our mission statement now. Quickly. It's coming. The mission statement. Or vision and mission. You guys remember it? Okay, there it is. All right. Please read along as we read it. The vision of the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living is to joyfully relieve the love and oneness of God. We are a welcoming and inclusive spiritual, dedicated to individual transformation and collective growth. Our purpose is to love, inspire, and serve our community and the world through education, music, prayer, and play. Thank you. And as always, for all that's going on at the Oakland Center, visit our website. I've said it like 3 times, www.oaklandcsl.org, or sign up for our weekly newsletter, the Thursday Village News. And don't forget, you can follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook for special updates and content you'll only find by liking and subscribing to OCSL. Glasses, mask, yeah.
Can you hear me now? Okay. So good morning, everyone, and again, welcome. My name is Judith Roberts. I'm a licensed practitioner here at the Oakland Center. And I am going to first ask you to focus on the slide that we just saw previously before the vision statement. These are the qualities that we are calling forth in our search for a new minister. And in the seat pocket in front of you, there's a page that looks like this we call a sacred covenant. We're not going to read it here today, but it's here for your reference. And so we're going to just take a moment of silence to focus on these qualities and call them in. Just call them in. So let's take a moment of silence. Recognizing that the covenant is the culmination of our visioning as a community and as individuals. So we take time to go within and call forth these qualities we seek in our new minister or ministers, as well as embodying them within ourselves as we bring about our greatest good. Thank you. And it said ministers, plural, because there's also the option of a collaborative ministry. It could be that there's two ministers and not just one. So we're open. We're open to the greatest good. So now I'm going to offer 2 readings. And I invite you again, you can close your eyes or not as you choose and take these into your heart. The first reading is by our founder, Ernest Holmes, and he says, "We cannot afford to hold personal animosities or enmities against the world or individual members of society. All such thoughts are outside the law. Love alone can beget love." And then the second reading is by Buckminster Fuller. "You never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete." So taking that in, we'll just go into prayer. Knowing that the Spirit of the Divine is here and right now. That one fills this sanctuary. And that one is with each person who is listening to or observing this service online, or after the service and viewing the recorded service. That presence is everywhere, omnipresent. And it is infusing each person with love, with its clarity, with its divine inspiration. And that being, that oneness is embodied by each individual. Everyone is an expression of that divine presence. And so knowing that, I bless this service and all who have participated in bringing this service to us. All of the many hands that have gone into making it. All of the love, all of the inspiration. And I bless the message that is brought to us today by Reverend Jerry, knowing that she is divinely guided, and knowing that each person receives what they need to receive. They receive a deepening. They receive an opening. They receive inspiration. They receive balancing and grounding. And that she is just a messenger. She's a messenger for the Spirit. She's a messenger of the divine. And she has said yes, and Spirit says yes. And everyone participating today has said yes. And all who are attending who has said yes. And that yes opens doors. that yes opens hearts. And those hearts are wide open and those hearts are filled. And so I give thanks for this service and know that it is unfolding in perfect divine order. And I invite you to say with me, and so it is. Amen. Inviting our musicians back to the stage. Thank you.
Good morning. This song was written by Reverend Andriette Earl and Etika Luckett, and it was inspired by a Howard Thurman essay titled, "I Will Sing a New Song." A new song, a new song, I will sing a new song. My old song is so weary, I learned it long ago. It repeats over and over and over and burdens my heart and my soul. Don't get me wrong, it was a good song, and you know I played that hand. But the chorus is tired, no longer inspired, not up to a new demand. I am ready to sing
Behind the scenes. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to roll back. Shakaya and Kev, you're fabulous. Thank you for blessing us this day. And give yourselves a hand for being here and being present and saying yes. We are going to sing a new song today. I think that's what's in store for us. Before I get started, I'm Reverend Jerry, and I'm, as always, honored to be here speaking. And, you know, we just came through Pride Month in June, and so we had all these fabulous Pride speakers. In February, we had Black History Month and had fabulous Black History Month speakers. So it's kind of nice to be here now in July. I missed seeing you, but enjoyed hearing all the wonderful messages. Let's kind of get a little feedback here or something. Before I start with today's talk, I want to talk to the live streamers. I want to say I'm so glad you're here with us today, and I apologize on behalf of Oakland Center and our AV team because we had a little hiccup last week and we weren't able to do our live streaming. And these volunteer AV team individuals are fabulous. They're amazing. They deserve such praise. But sometimes things happen. And unfortunately, we had beautiful speakers. We had Reverend Eloise Oliver and Lucian Baker. But we will have them back, I promise you. They're amazing. Lucian spoke on Wednesday. You could tune in. He recapped a little bit on Wednesday, so you could tune into the Wednesday service. And next Wednesday, Reverend Eloise will be with us. So you can catch up a little bit. But again, our apologies for that, because I know our live stream community is a big part of our whole community. They're just not in the seats here with each of you, but they're with us. They're with us. And so we want to make sure they're supported and get their needs met as well. So with that being said, our topic this month has been relationships. And the title today is You and Me Create Society. So society is an agreement of people. So this is where we get to sing our new song, because we're talking not so much in the individual sense, but the sense of the collective, of the whole. So our theme for the month, though, I do like to recap this because I think it's very important, that there is only God. So let us remember there is only God. The way we relate to ourselves, to one another, the world, and with the universal power are all interconnected and inseparable. There is only God. We cannot claim to love God while hating ourselves. That just doesn't work because we're one with God. We cannot declare that it is a just and equitable universe while treating others, people, animals, Mother Earth, unjustly and inequitably. This month is the invitation to anchor in the spiritual practice of engaged relationships and activity and actively revealing in the wonder of how each relationship is ultimately a relationship with spirit. It's a relationship of spirit with itself. No separation here, only one, yes? So today we're going to focus on the relationship we have with society, in which we live while recognizing there are many nuances and intersections to what these relationships mean, how they are formed, and how they influence not only those within that particular society, but how they affect the global society. So I'm inviting you all to look at and look for the ways we can engage society to nurture and embolden healthier, compassionate, equitable, and loving relationships for all people. So for all people. You know, there's a point of view that Science of Mind shares with us on this topic, and that point of view says, living, moving, and being the expression of a unified society calls us to a new paradigm, a new evolved way of being where we embody more love and practice the Science of Mind teachings, not just individually, but as a beloved society, as a collective consciousness. This is very powerful. We know when the collective consciousness unites, when we're in a group meditation, for example, there's an energy that is taking place that is felt, that there's an uplifting that's experienced by a collective group. And so we're talking about moving forward in our experience today and on with a collective society. So from Ernest Holmes, I'll share this quote with you from Love and Law. It says, "Unity is the basis of all that there is. There is but one God, but one mind, but one spirit, and but one power. When I embody myself in my thoughts selfishly, I am separating myself from that which I think would be my good." Okay? It goes on to say, "You may think this is a very subtle thing and could not be the reason for so much trouble. It is the foundation of most of our troubles. I am unconsciously separating myself from my good." Again, this is our teachings from 1918 to 1920 in Love and Law. So Ernest Holmes shares this with us so that we can be more united with one another, that we can embrace one another, that we can be patient and kind and more loving with one another. I think that's ours to do. So, you know, people make laws, right? Some laws we can easily identify as being for the protection of the society that made the laws, whereas other laws are made to protect a certain portion of that society while hurting and harming others by seeing them as being not a part of the larger society. For example, slavery and the Jim Crow in the United States, apartheid in South Africa, and anti-Semitism in Hitler's Germany are a few such examples. Now this is where we need to remember God is creative consciousness. So God is creative consciousness and we are individualized. So be with that thought for a minute. We have been given free will and choice, yes? We have free will and choice. It's up to us to make our choices and decisions. Therefore, we may choose thoughts, words, and actions that are ungodly, as did Jim Crow or Hitler. But in God's view, and this is from the Bible, Matthew 5:45, as part of the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said, "The rain falls on the just and unjust." The rain falls on the just and unjust. So we all have choice on how to use our creative power for good, That's up to us. Or not so good. That's up to us too. You see, God is a neutral energy, and its karmic law is always in operation. So if one uses the law or mind erroneously or for less than good things, it always rebounds back, whether we are using the creative power justly or unjustly. So you get back what you put out. Yes? You get back what you put out always. So in creating a world that works for all, and that's been our motto, creating a world that works for all, the role and responsibility of being a spiritually mature society is certainly something worth discussing, as well as the role of the spiritual laws in the creation of societal laws that demonstrate the wonder and magnificence of God through and as all that is. So, where do we begin with all of this? We first begin with us, yes? We first begin with us. It began with the amazing speakers who educated us, as I mentioned earlier, during Black History Month. That collaboration of speakers and the depth and understanding was just profound and wonderful for our community. And we were here to listen and to learn, to embrace. Remember back in 2019 and 20, pre-pandemic, we launched a SUM ministry, social uplift ministry. CSL was promoting this ministry, and we jumped on board with the support of a team of members. I bet some of you are here. How many of you were participating in the SUM ministry? Yes, back there in the back, Deborah. Thank you all. And so as a result of the pandemic, things got pushed back for us, but we knew that work was really critical to our growth and expansion here at Oakland Center. So Reverend Francione led that group. And for those of us who were a part of it, we really understood the power of that group. There were times when we had 60 people in the sanctuary, and we were working on special topics like racism or homelessness and topics of that nature, so that we could be more informed and so that we could step in and be more supportive. So today, because of our CAST book study that was facilitated by emeritus practitioner Carmen West Jefferson, I don't see Carmen here today. I think she's getting ready for a big trip to Africa. But we have begun to vision now, under the leadership of Reverend D. Jacqueline Edwards, for a social justice, diversity, and inclusion ministry here at Oakland Center. It feels like we're picking up where we left off from our SUM ministry days, and there is more to come as we formulate the outcome of our visioning, and we will certainly keep everyone posted, because this is an exciting opportunity for us. You know, what we do here at our spiritual home certainly does ripple out, doesn't it? The good that we do here ripples out in one way or another into the greater community and ultimately into the world. And we are all a part of it, and we can continue to be a part of it as we embark on these new journeys. You know, we're embarking on the new journey of new ministry. There's just a lot of newness happening here in our community, and it's really wonderful. And then I wanted to share that for years, possibly since humans developed communication, there have been complaints and commentaries about what is wrong in the world. You can think about a few right now. There's a lot of things happening in the world. You know, what's wrong with the government, the churches, the country, the weather, our jobs, our spouses, our children, and so on and so on. Sound familiar? What is wrong? The energy of these complaints has not made things better, however. Follow me? The energy of these type of complaints. It is only when dedicated people see a vision of change and work towards it that any effective and beneficial changes can occur. If we are going to change society, then we must begin to discuss, envision, and become the beloved, wonderful society and be the change we wish to see. Be the change we wish to see. So what I am doing is I'm inviting us to release our negative obsessions on the ills of the world and society. You think you can do that? Practice. This really honestly doesn't mean bypassing the conditions. There's no bypassing going on here, because these are experiences. However, think about a doctor in an emergency room working on a patient. The patient's in critical condition, but the doctor doesn't ignore the illness or injury they see. They don't ignore it. But what they do is work toward the patient's wholeness and wellness. That is what we are here to do. Work toward society's wholeness and wellness. So we know that Science of Mind gives us the same ability to see a condition and to transform, transmute, and transcend them in order to reveal the truth. How does that sound? Are you ready to reveal the truth here? I think we're doing it all the time, but I think we could do it even more. Just knowing the truth, believing in the truth, being in on it. And you may have heard it said that when the old guard dies off, then things like racism, genocide, homophobia, terrorism will vanish. Nope. The old guard, however, it's not people. The old guard are systems, right? And that people have put into place, and that the systems, when left unchallenged, continue to dictate how any given society operates. This is how it works. Society is an agreement of the people. And if we are manifesting a world that works, that means we must manifest societies that work for all. For all. And it means our relationships with each other. This is part of our work. And with those we may never meet. You see, all are affected by the laws, the policies, and our prayers. So, for example, in many places around the world, there are societal norms that continue to perpetuate hatred and violence against members of the LGBTQIA+ community. So just coming from Pride Month, and I'm glad our Pride flags are still up, because the members of the LGBTQIA+ communities around the world are impacted even if they do not live in an oppressive culture. Yes. And within the various societal groups, there are people who choose to do the work required to change the systems, the laws, the relationships, so that everyone has equal rights, protection under the law, and the freedom to live, being who each individualized expression of God is, because we are all individualized expressions of the one. What is essential and very important to me in this is that we break the barriers of separation. So let's continue to educate ourselves as we've been doing this year, but not just in February for Black History Month or June for Pride Month, but throughout the year. And that's why I'm bringing a recap of this topic for us, because I think it's our work to do always. Yeah. So we learned about Pride with our fabulous speakers who did a wonderful job educating us. And on the first Wednesday of Pride Month, if you care to go back and look, practitioner Doug Myers did a great, he hit home with a deeper understanding of the LGBTQIA+ movement. And I thank everyone who participated in those Wednesday and Sunday services. But until somewhat recently, a little bit more on the history. Some variations of the term gay community were used to encompass the entirety of the group that we now refer to as LGBTQIA+. Do you know what all those acronyms mean? Do you want to know? Yes, some don't. Okay, those who don't want to know can leave. No, no, hang in there with us, please. So in the 90s, it was GLBT, used to describe those who identified as either gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender. LGBT came about and replaced GLBT in the mid-2000s as lesbian activists fought more visibly. And you know, the AIDS pandemic was happening there at that time, and so that brought together gay men and lesbian women who nursed them, hence the L in LGBTQIA+ stands for lesbian women who nursed the AIDS patients. Our beloved Richard Robinson, who's no longer with us now, also was very, very active in that community, supporting and praying and nurturing and loving. So the first letter is in the acronym is for lesbian. So activists and members of the queer community have since come together to form the current acronym, which I keep tripping on, but it is LGBTQIA+. This denotation includes space for those identifying as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and in some cases questioning, intersex, asexual, and sometimes ally. And the plus is for the plethora of other orientations and identities. So there still may be some confusion about this. We can break it down, but I'm not sure we ended up with slides for all of this. Did we, John? No, we didn't. Okay, so when you leave, and if you really are interested, there's a takeaway at the front desk in the foyer, okay? And so I encourage you to take it and study up. There's also some questions to ponder from today's talk that you can be with this week. So there's so much more to learn. I hope the handout will help you embrace a little bit more about about the acronym and the importance of the acronym and what it means to community and to society. So this week, as you interact with the world, this might be your homework assignment, pause periodically and look at the societal norms you and those around you have agreed to follow through the lens of a world that works for all, okay? As you notice things in your surroundings that are not demonstrating this vision of a world that works for all, ask yourself, what can I do to be an ambassador of this society that works? What can I be? What can I do to be an ambassador of a society that works for all? And once you have your answer, do it. Yes, just do it. It might be volunteering at a school or helping a neighbor with some yard work. Simple as that. It could be speaking before on transgender rights, or sending money to ongoing help in Haiti, or supporting our nonprofit partner today who's going to be with us with the Redwoods. And so we're going to hear more about the details on all of that. But it could be just a number of things. So I encourage y'all to get involved, do something a little different. And it's always an invitation to treat yourself to learning something new, experiencing something new, just embracing something new, and create and build a momentum of newness, because it really is refreshing. You know, John Lennon said, if everyone demanded peace instead of another television set, there'd be peace. Of course, I've changed his wording to say, in this day and age, I'd say another computer, wouldn't you? Yeah. So before we end, I have something I think is kind of cute and funny, and before we go into prayer. A young boy came to Sunday school late. His teacher knew that he was usually very prompt and asked him if anything was wrong. The boy replied, no, that he was going fishing, but his dad told him he needed to go to church. The teacher was very impressed and asked if his dad explained to him why it was more important to go to church than go fishing. The boy replied, yes, he did. Dad said he didn't have enough bait for both of us. So on that laughter, let us go within, and as Dodie brings up our Ministry of Prayer box. And our practitioners are standing to hold the consciousness of this moment in our sacred time of service. So let's just take a deep collective breath, breathing in that power and presence known by many names. I call it Mother, Father, God this day. Knowing that this power and presence is all wise. It's boundless and infinite and everywhere present. It's almighty and supreme and absolute. And we are individualizations of this one power and presence. And we too possess all the magnificence of this power and presence, the magnificence of love, of peace, of harmony, of joy, of abundance, of goodness, of wholeness, and the list goes on and on. All the goodness of life is ours, for we are one. So breathing that in and moving into our community prayer. This month's nonprofit partner we honor and we surround in prayer, Save the Redwoods League, envisions vibrant redwood forests of the scale and grandeur that once graced the California coast and the Sierra Nevada, protected forever, restored to grow old once again, and connected to people through a network of magnificent parks and protected areas that inspire all of us with the beauty and power of nature. And now blessing our youth and the youth of the world, knowing they are guided by the loving mind and heart of Spirit. And blessing those in service, creating a world that works for everyone. And we are knowing love, comfort, peace of mind, and healing for all those impacted by challenges of whatsoever form. Knowing for Linda C. Thompson, Dottie Lewis, Elle Lewis, Lupe Copende, Tyler, the Thompson family, and Ricky Abisla. Let us continue to hold these beloveds in our prayers. And for our ministry of prayer, for our prayer box, knowing that these prayers are surrounded by an amazing and powerful ministry of prayer team and practitioners who pray upon each prayer request. So we're knowing that these prayers in this box and the prayers being requested are answered prayers from the divine. And we're blessing and knowing peace of mind and comfort and safety for all. And let us continue to hold our world in prayer, knowing that peace is possible in Ukraine, as well as other parts of the world experiencing war. And for everyone impacted by violence of any type, let us pray for continued wholeness and safety from every activity that's taking place in our world this day, in our United States and in California, and for the pandemic and any and all of viruses, just knowing that we are safely contained and connected by the wholeness of the power and the presence of the One. And I speak a word now for the transition of Ron Gardner, brother of Teresa Gardner, holding Teresa and her mother and sister and their entire family in our prayers, knowing that Ron's journey is just beginning, that he is safe and being held in the beauty and the love and the light of the divine, and knowing peace of mind for the family, and supporting them and comforting them at this time of release. And I invite you now to go within into your heart space. And if there's a person or people on your heart that are in need of a prayer, please take a moment to speak their names into the sacredness of this service. And so as the names continue to be spoken, we know that God's got this and the more, that we are always divinely guided and supported and directed and protected by God that knows only good. And that good is our good. We're open and receptive to it, individually and collectively. I'm blessing our spiritual community, and I know that everything is unfolding for the highest and the best for all. How good it is to know that. How good it is to trust the divine power and presence of the One. So in gratitude, I just let these words flow into that universal law of life that always says yes to our heart's desires. It is done, it is so, and so it is. Amen. Ashe. Thank you, Dodie. Thank you, Kev. It was beautiful. So guess what time it is? It is our conscious giving time. Yay, yes, woohoo. And I see Eliza has one of our auto tithe cards, our auto giving cards. Auto giving, conscious giving. So what is that? That's when you want to give spontaneously and automatically and not have to even think about writing a check. I do it that way. It works for me. It took me a while to transition to that because there's something very sacred and, ritualistic about putting something in the basket here and the basket in the back. And I still do that as well. But auto giving is a beautiful way to give to support our community, along with all the other ways. Of course, we have our Zelle and text to give and the donate button on the website, or just good old cash does the trick to keep us uplifted, to keep us thriving as we are doing here in spiritual community. So let us say our affirmation together. Yes, you can put your gift to your heart. I give and receive freely and generously with an open heart and open mind, blessing the flow of prosperity in the world. And so it is. Thank you so much. We're going to have our musicians back. Yes. Oh, here it is.
Imagine me loving what I see when the mirror looks at me, 'cause I imagine me in a place of no insecurities, and I'm finally happy 'cause I imagine me letting go all of the ones who hurt me, 'cause they never did deserve me. Can you imagine me saying no to thoughts that try to control me, remembering all you told me? Lord, can you imagine me? Oh, what my mama said, and heal from what my daddy did. Wanna live and not read that page again.
get the joy this time around. Can you imagine me in a world where nobody has to live afraid because of your love is gone away? Can you imagine me letting go of my past? And glad I had another chance, and my heart will dance, 'cause I don't have to live that pain again. Imagine me being free, trusting you totally. Finally, I can imagine me.
Well, it's my honor now. We have our nonprofit partner with us today. Tim Whaling from Save the Redwoods League is going to share a little bit about their league with us so that we can be informed, and there'll be a table out in the courtyard afterwards. Come on up, Tim. Actually, let me do the honors for you. Oh, okay, go ahead. All right. Thank you for being with us. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for inviting us here this morning to be with you. It's really a pleasure to share a little bit about Save the Redwoods League. And appreciate this. Clearly, you're a group of people that like to learn, so I share a little bit about who we are and what we do, and invite you to join me out in the courtyard at the table. I've got some information if you'd like to learn more. Anyway, we've got a map up here, and the reason I thought the map was important is I'm not sure everyone really knows where the redwoods are. The Coast Redwood Range existed for millennia before Europeans arrived, from just over the Oregon border down to Big Sur on the coast, and the giant sequoias exist only on the western slopes of the Sierra Nevada, and about, depending on who you talk to, 75 to 80 groves. And these two species of trees exist nowhere else in the world. They're our ecosystem, they're California's forests, and people come from all over the world to experience them because, as you may know, redwood trees are the tallest and giant sequoias are the largest trees in the world. And they live upwards of 25 to even 3,000 years old. These trees were here long before we were, and they have existed for millennia only here in California. At one time, back in prehistoric times, redwoods existed all over the planet. And as the globe changed, the redwood range narrowed and narrowed and narrowed, and in modern times only exist here in California. There are forests. So Save the Redwoods League was founded in 1918 with a mission to protect and restore California's redwoods and connect people to their peace and beauty so these wonders of the natural world flourish. So that was the mission over 100 years ago, and we spent most of the last 100 years protecting the remaining old-growth redwood forests that exist on the coast and the giant sequoias that exist in the Sierra Nevada. So we have about 66 redwood parks and reserves today. Save the Redwoods League is responsible for either creating them or adding to them. That's really our legacy of creating redwood parks so people can experience them, enjoy their peace and beauty. In recent times, we've really turned our attention to restoring the redwood forest, bringing back the forest that we've lost over several centuries of logging, and in very recent times, really focused on fire resiliency in the redwood range, the Coast Redwood Range and the giant sequoia range. We know over the last 3 or 4 years, we've experienced catastrophic wildfires in the redwoods, and we've lost in the giant sequoia range over 20% of those ancient monarch trees, those trees that are over 1,000 years old. For the first time in human history that we've ever known, we've seen those large giant sequoia trees succumb to fire. And that is because, both in the Coast Range and in the giant sequoia range, we've suppressed fire for over a century. The native peoples that lived in the redwoods understood fire was a part of taking care of the land and would actively burn the coast redwood and giant sequoia forests on a regular basis to keep what we call the fuels on the forest floor at a minimum. We suppress fire for over a century, and now when fire happens, it burns much hotter and it's much more severe than it ever was in the past. And this is the reason we're seeing a lot of mortality in the redwood forest and throughout our forests. This is not just unique to the redwood range. Suppressing fire across forests throughout the U.S. has resulted in these catastrophic wildfires we're experiencing today. So today, Save the Redwoods League still protects redwood forests where we can. In fact, at the end of last year, we protected 5 miles of California coastline, over 3,000 acres of second growth redwood forest, just at the southern tip of the Lost Coast. So our Lost Coast redwood property that we acquired just in a very short period of time we had about 8 weeks to raise $36.9 million to protect this property. It was on the chopping block, literally. We were competing against timber companies to protect this forest. We prevailed, so the forest will go into the protected landscape. Yeah. On the North Coast. It could have just as easily gotten into the hands of a timber company that would have probably logged that forest by now. So that's what we do. We protect old growth and even second growth forests where we can. We've implemented really significant forest restoration initiatives in the Coast Redwood Range. We have a project up on the North Coast called Redwoods Rising. It's a partnership with California State Parks, the National Park Service, and Save the Redwoods League to restore. Ultimately, the goal is 70,000 acres of previously logged redwood forest that's now part of Redwood National and State Parks. We're doing forest restoration on our own held properties, and now we're trying to accelerate a restoration initiative in the giant sequoia range to really address the immediate needs of the catastrophic wildfire situation we find there. And then more and more, we're committing our time and attention to connecting people to the redwoods. Why protect and save these forests if people can't experience and enjoy them? So we work with California State Parks and the National Park Service and the federal monuments to enhance visitor infrastructure in redwood parks. We're creating our own redwood parks on some of the properties we've acquired in recent years, and really trying to lower the barriers for getting out into the redwoods, and when people do get out in the redwoods, ensuring that they feel welcome. So we recognize the diversity of California today, want to welcome all people into the redwood parks and have them feel welcome in these settings. So we protect redwoods, we restore redwood forests, we connect people to the redwoods. That in a nutshell is who we are and what we do. And we are just appreciate all of you wanting to learn and hear more about what Save the Redwoods League is about. We're a membership organization. Much of the work we do is only done with the support of our supporters. So we have members from across the nation, every state in the nation, and even members who support our work outside of the U.S. People have redwood experiences and they're really marked for life. It can be a really moving experience, and some of our most generous donors that have helped us protect these forests maybe came to California on vacation, had a redwood experience, and it has stayed with them their entire lives, and they continue to support our work for decades. So we're a member organization, only do this work with our community, and thank you for being a part of it.
Thank you, Tim. It was a lovely presentation. The map was really helpful. I learned something just looking at the map. And just an anecdote I want to share is that for a number of years, I had an Airbnb in my house, and I had visitors come from all over the world. And they often asked me for guidance of what should we do here? What do you recommend? And always I say Muir Woods because it's close. And they would come back with that experience of awe of being in the old growth forest. And so I didn't know about your organization. So now I will. Well, I closed during COVID, but if and when I open up again, I'll share that with them. And I want to, again, encourage people to visit Tim's table out in the courtyard because we can all gain more information. And I certainly would like more information. So thank you again. Let's give him a hand. Yeah, that was really wonderful. So I would, at this point, like to thank everybody who has been a part of this service. Too many to name, but I will give it a try. Our media team, our musicians. Let's give Kevin Takia a hand again. Just beautiful. And we still have one more number coming from them. Our greeters are people who did our registration. Of course, Reverend Jerry and her lovely, lovely presentation, educational talk today. I certainly learned more about the acronym that I didn't realize. Thank you. And just about, society and how we all we're all woven together in society, and how we focus is how our society becomes what it becomes. It was a lovely talk, thank you. And I don't know if I'm forgetting anybody. Of course, our facilities people and setup people. Thank you to everyone, and also everyone participating online and in person. This is what we come for, and it takes a village, as we all know. I'd like to close with, I'd also like to say that after service in the back of the sanctuary, we offer prayer. Practitioners are available for prayer, and it can be a short prayer for anything you would like assistance with, or it can be a celebration. Anything, just bring anything that's on your heart to the back of the sanctuary, and we will be there to pray with you. Also, we have a prayer box at the back of the sanctuary where you can submit a written prayer, and those prayers will be prayed over by practitioners. So that's another avenue for prayer. And then I want to ask you to read with me our closing affirmation, which I think will be on the slide. I am a powerful catalyst of love within society. And so it is. Thank you. And then after, I just want to remind everybody that after service is over, just please exit either through the door in the back or this door. There's also a basket here if you still would like to make a donation, and you could put it in the basket. And now I would like to turn it back over to Kev and Takia. Thank you.
This song says, I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God.